in this video, I have a saying about giving a rat's ass that's kind of funny. That how can you give a rat's ass? The ass of the rat isn't yours to give, so let the rat keep his ass. Or you can pick up a rat and hand him to somebody else's ass first, and yes, you're giving a rat's ass. And if the other person wants to accept the rat ass first, to give a rat's ass, you're sort of offering up the rat's ass, and it's up to the other person if he wants to accept. So I'll have another saying too, that in some certain things, that if a rat's ass should really be offered or even given about a particular subject. So that's what I say about tolerance to a certain thing. You can say sometimes you give a shit. There's some and I also have a thing where I say there's certain aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck. It's not that I don't give a shit or give a fuck. It's there's some aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck that I don't give a shit or a fuck about. And at any given time, when and where should a rat's ass be given, or a fuck be given, or a shit be given, or even offered? You know what I mean? Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. And I'm going to talk about this one video I saw, and I'll remind you in the beginning of this video too that certain people that are actually my haters or whatever, or lurkers or whatever, would ask out of nowhere, "Oh, do you hate black people and all that?" And my motto is absolutely not, because if I hated black people or was racist in that, I'd be missing out on the fun of spreading the videos of YouTubers that you don't like. So you can't do that and be racist in it. And then I'd be missing out on all the spiteful things that I can do that would put a smile on my face, that actually would, if you will, throw a monkey wrench into the system of the people who want to up the definition of racism for their advantage, and like change the rules and change the alter the new normal, if you will. But anyway, wanted to do this video for a particular YouTuber named GOTHIX, and for fans of the channel. But anyway, yeah, what struck my fancy is she was talking about some video that was it by Vice, the YouTube channel Vice? I try not to laugh here. That's the rise of far right influencers. Oh my God! Look at all those right-wing influencers. Oh, and then in saying that people that are liberals saying that are actually, they don't care about the rise and fall of the far left YouTubers or whatever, or social media. Oh, and did I just say the rise and fall? Because in my subconscious, yeah, nobody, the people that are raising all this hell and all this hoopla or whatever about right-wing or far-right YouTubers, I guess there are no dangerous far-left social media influencers or YouTubers or whatever the hell. Basically, when somebody makes a propagandistic one-sided video, which the YouTuber GOTHIX was referring to, which is like, it basically is like really like stupid. It's very one-sided or whatever the hell. The stupidest thing I ever heard since the what was that, Showtime endorsing a thing called "Everything is going to be all white." But what tells me is, one side is allowed to have all the influence and media influence, right? And one side is not. Free speech for me and no free speech for you, rules for me and not
not for thee, or rules for thee and not for me, or whatever the hell, But anyway, yeah, Vice. I used to listen to the YouTube channel Vice like back in the day or whatever, and I almost want to check in some videos to see if they're still up. But when I listened to Vice, they talked about all kind of stuff though too, and um, I don't want to say for sure how liberal they are, but they used to do whole documentaries I watched about a lot of stuff like um, everything from the drug cartels to a video about the cannibal warlords of Liberia, and them and along with other people did a lot of interesting stuff. Suicide Forest, Japan. But anyway, I did a comment on GOTHIX's channel. I'm like, damn, if they were ever liberal or going woke, um, I'm surprised because everybody else that's woke, for example, Vice did videos on the drug cartels, which are a big problem, yet you're not allowed to talk about that because all of a sudden you're be accused of hating all Mexicans or something, or whatever the hell. But yeah, so they did some pretty interesting stuff. If they went liberal all of a sudden, and it's like, because I know most of the people that are far left that want gun control and say, oh, right wing is racist or whatever, and they want gun control. I always said, the far left, oh yeah, they pick and choose the people that they criticize that has guns that shouldn't have guns. They want to take these guns away just because they're on the right or the conservatives and gun owners and the NRA. That all the gun violence is their fault. But then you try to argue with these people and say, well, or if you wanted to go be devil's advocate for them, it says, okay, I'll go half and half with you on gun control on that view, even though I disagree with all gun control. I'll agree partially with you on condition, well, you acknowledge all the other people that have guns, like the Mr. Pseudo gang members, Mr. Pseudo gang member or pseudo gangster, king of the streets, both black or white, not picking on anybody because of their color. And a lot of people out there in the world outside of YouTube that want gun control, and I'm not making this video about gun control, I'm saying this for example about the leftist hypocrisy, and this dovetails into the double standards. Anyway, yeah, they want to take away guns, right? And social media influence, and try to tell you who can and can't have social media influence. These same people want to say, oh, they want to do away with guns and blame them on only one demographic. But they'll cut you right off at the pass if you talk about, well, these drug gangs that have guns. They cut you right off at the pass. So you notice right away, and no, these people also happen to want the legalization of all drugs, too. Yeah, they'll talk over top of you, either roll their eyes, change the subject, interrupt you when you're talking. And in their eyes, just like their thing about guns. Oh, and I bring this up too because in our area, the Pittsburgh area, I showed articles on other media that I'm on about the Hazelwood mob. And I bring up the Hazelwood mob that was arrested and disbanded, and videos about how the RICO Act seems to be going after a lot of these people, their precious hero Young Thug and all these others, and not picking on anybody because they're black. There's a lot of other groups that are white, tattoos on their faces, that RICO Act gang types. But yeah, the far left, wants gun control on this side, right? But yet they cut you right off the pass, They want to, the reason why they make videos like what I was talking about, what GOTHIX was talking about, the video, the reason why they make videos like that, they also advocate the mass protests and vandalism, and with or without the vandalism, they're raising their fist in the air. And I always said, the raising of the fist in the air, what they're actually saying is down with the police and down with people that have nice houses and nice cars because they work for them. And power to Mr. Drug Daddy, King of the Streets, with guns. And nobody that has nice houses and wants to defend their property, they're not allowed to have guns. That's what it runs down to. And these kind of people uh, that are going around throwing around, these people that are throwing around the bullshit about all these far right social media influences, their rise, they're like a big bunch of terrorists. Hey, there's people that are far left that, oh, I guess it's okay to be a far left and want to legalize all drugs. You want gun control only for certain people, but you'll shout people down if you talk about the other kind of people with guns, which, by the way, in a town that I actually lived in it, like a couple months after we moved out, on the news, a couple people got shot. Victims were black and the shooters were black. So, and then I have friends that were black that me and my partner actually worry about, there too. So that's on the news. So the far left doesn't want to hear that, you know what I mean? Yeah, you want to, and I'm not making this all about gun control, but they're doing with social media that, yeah, I always said that things like social media and anything you write anywhere can be more dangerous to your enemies and your haters than having a gun, you know what I mean? Even, and these far leftists that want to be all talking about far right social media influence, have you? Oh, geez, the far left social media influences and totally taken over Twitter way back in the day. Back in 2020, yeah, you had the mass mobs wrecking stores, destroying stores, and charity that I was involved in charity and I was involved with. I actually, for one, believe in having respect for stores. I used to stand in front of them every year, and I don't have no respect for people that have no respect for stores, and no respect for people that think that just because somebody died by a cop, however it happened, like George Floyd, that they have the right to get free merchandise from Walmart and get a chance to burn down somebody's business or wreck somebody's business. Their whole ideology is just totally invalid right then and there. And I said I'd show you an article. I'll put, just to be fair, next to George Floyd's face, with a white guy that had tattoos all over his face that not too long ago, and there's people out there like him did the same shit George Floyd did, right? But I'm putting a white guy in there too, to be fair, and I'm not making this all about George Floyd in 2020, but it relates because it's these people that want to talk about far right influencers. Yeah, because some of them tell the truth. There's some far right. I have another policy about certain kind of far right people that are out there, but did some stupid things. But they're the types of people that are, oh yeah, they're ready to jump on that and group everybody together. You know what I mean too. So yeah, okay. So you get George Floyd and you get a white guy with tattoos on his face. That did a burglary and threatened somebody with a gun, and then George Floyd threatened somebody's pregnant woman and her baby with a gun. And if that thing that happened with the cops, when they should have took him in, but say he didn't get his chance to do his time for the home invasion that he did, right? And which all this other shit and the riots wouldn't have happened too. But him and some white guy with tattoos on his face that I told you, I'll show you an article on, what they both have in common, black or white, which both of them theoretically should have been shot to death or bludgeoned with a golf club in self-defense by the victim of the home invasion. Or a neighbor with a licensed firearm. They could have been shot by a concerned neighbor with a licensed firearm. That should have happened to George Floyd. It should have and could have, but no, he got caught and he did time in prison. He got back out of prison, right? And did something with counterfeit money, and the cops kind of screwed up. They didn't take him in, but did that give anybody a right to do a mass riot? No. Uh, should the cops have done a better job and got him taken in to answer for what he did, which was probably a violation of his parole? He would have went back to prison, you know. People, and then I think Roe versus Wade actually happened in so many words somewhere in the courts out of revenge, because somebody that obviously had no bunch of rioters having no are ready to make a hero and a martyr out of somebody that pointed a gun at a pregnant woman and her baby in a home invasion. Obviously, the people that make that guy a martyr, they don't care about babies, and you can argue maybe that everybody that was willing to riot there, they were also very pro-abortion. So, and this isn't just me trolling. This was a guess. I made video before. Did I guess that in so many words that may have the Roe versus Wade thing might have been a kind of a passive aggressive revenge, tying it together. I could be wrong. I think it's kind of ironic, but far left has a nerve to make a hero and a martyr out of somebody that, they did their time in prison for a home invasion and threaten somebody's baby. The life of somebody's baby doesn't matter to them, and neither does anybody's property or nobody's shops or personal property, you know what I mean? Oh, and the far left social media influencers, the rise of them, they were totally okay with what I was telling you. Anyway, I'm looking at this video on YouTube because I watch her all the time. I watch her and Young Rippaverse, and my motto is don't let anybody tell you what to do, or anybody tries to say, oh, you hate black people. It says, no. If I was racist and if I hated black people, I'd be missing out on the fun sharing factual videos who are done by black people that you don't like, you know what I mean? And before I leave this video too, the far left also believes that, they tell you don't be racist, and they can up the rules about what you can and can't do. You're racist if you're this or that, and they want to up the rules about how they can call you racist, right? But yet these same people also think that they have the right to say, oh yeah, don't be racist or whatever, but yet you're allowed to hate the black people that we don't like. Then that's different. That ain't racist. They say don't be racist, but yet here's the black people and the black YouTubers whom we don't like that you're allowed to not like. You know what I mean? And they'll say, they'll be going saying, anybody, they'll go throwing around, speaking on behalf of anybody that's Jewish, right? Which they don't even care about anybody Jewish at all, and say so-and-so is anti-Semitic, but their far left people are anti-Semitic. They'll say, oh, don't hate Jews, and try to act like everybody else hates Jews. And then, but yet the far left will also say, don't hate Jews, right? But, oh, you're not allowed to like Ben Shapiro. As a matter of fact, we require you to not like Ben Shapiro. You know, that Jew you're not allowed to like. You know what I mean? See, there's the hypocrisy there. And they had the Whoopi Goldberg thing, which she was acting like she was apologizing on The View, and then YouTube videos about her backtracking and smugly backtracking on it. And I'm on the side of these commenters about that subject too. That I've seen countless commenters that they're dumbfounded and really it really not being mind numbing about why The View is actually still on television. And Whoopi Goldberg blatantly during 2022, I mean 2020 also, not the year 2022, which is going 2023. I said, yeah, also during the year 2020, Whoopi Goldberg ignorantly going about those that husband and wife in that gated community that were pointing guns and trying to get them prosecuted and disarmed. And on The View, I seen that part of The View on YouTube and even on television. She showed the gates that being ripped open. She literally advocated and thought it was completely okay for a bunch of rioters to break the gates of a gated community, which kind of caused that couple to have guns drawn anyway. And I'm surprised that nobody else that had guns were, whether they'd have them ready just in case. Oh yeah, it was not okay for that husband and wife to have guns pointed and ready. They don't know what a bunch of people that broke through the gates of the community. Okay. So in talking about this particular person's video, which I watch her channel all the time, and it got me and maybe you bringing up a lot of dead horses. And again, too, before I end this video, the far left doesn't want you to beat any dead horses. They can beat all the dead horses they please, but they can pick and choose what dead horses to beat, and they can dictate to you what dead horses you can and can't beat. They don't want you beating any dead horses. They can beat all the dead horses they choose. Oh, but then they'll go and smugly talk about, the rise of far left influence, the rise of far right influence. Excuse me, they'll go talk about, the rise of far right YouTubers. And then the rest of us should be talking about the rise of insane far left YouTubers, social influencers. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I said, it's anybody that says shit like that, it's like, how dare any of you have any social media influence when we should have it all. I mean, the name of the game is giving oneself unlimited authority and political and social media influence and power, right, while denying or shutting off the other guy or the other people. That's all they want. Yeah, and then they'll raise their fist in the air, and even though you got one cop that screws up, or you got corrupt cops out there or whatever, they want to say down with the cops and power to Mr. King of the Streets that their people have, and then they want their people to rule over you because they got the guns, and they literally, some of them even blatantly flat out admit it. So there you go. I mean, I can go on and on.